All right, guys, what are seasonal allergies? Okay, so the last couple of weeks we've talked about upper respiratory issues, we've talked about asthma, we've talked about what seasonal allergies basically are and why so many people are having issues now. Guys, seasonal allergies are not okay. They're super common. They're one of those things that everybody seems to have, and they're all popping Claritin because it's the only thing that can prevent them from having problems. And on the Central Coast, we know that things get really bad around this time of year, right? Wildfire season is starting to die down a little bit, but everything is floating around in the air. We've got dust, we've got grass, we've got silica blowing off the dunes, we've got pet dander, we've got you name it, and people are starting to lose their normal immune response and things are starting to go a little haywire. So seasonal allergies really is an immune system that's gone off the rails. Okay, now there are two different types of immune responses, and I want you to pay attention to this so that you understand the difference. Okay, the first one is a Th2 response. Th2 simply refers to the sort of lock and key antibody type immune response that's very specific. So if you have a virus, you have antibodies that are specifically made, these proteins that are specifically made that glob onto that one specific virus and then ferry it out of the immune system, okay? And this is it's a fairly specific, fairly uncommon way for your immune system to react, okay? But the more common immune response is called a Th1 response. It's called a cytotoxic response. This is mediated by your mucous membranes. It's mediated by your gut lining, your mucosal tissue, and it's something like 75% of your immune system is made up of this, okay? So it's important to have a fully functioning Th1 immune response in order for you to kick off things like grass and dander and other so-called allergens, okay? The problem is most people do not have a good Th1 immune response. And there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, your Th2 response is going absolutely haywire. Things like over-vaccination can play a role in Th2 responses. Things like constant exposure to certain viral agents can cause an overreaction of your Th2 response, okay? But beyond that, Th2 responses can go unfettered because your Th1 response is not working correctly. One of the most common causes of an inappropriate Th1 response is poor gut function. Okay, when a gut is permeable or a gut is not working correctly, all the bacteria that you normally harbor inside of your large intestine to help digest food and get rid of waste products aren't living the way that they're supposed to. And that normal bacteria function is absolutely necessary for you to be able to create normal cytotoxic cells to help get rid of garbage in your system. Okay, so most of us are born with permeable guts, and that's because the birthing process is so traumatic, like we've talked about before. Babies who are born by C-section or born posterior have much more permeable guts. They're more dysbiotic, means they have less good bacteria than babies who are not born that way. If you employ the use of like an epidural, or you employ the use of like Pitocin or Cytotec Acervadil, the likelihood that you're going to have a permeable gut as a baby is much, much higher, which means their immune responses are going to be a lot less robust. Okay, exposing our kids to small levels of certain types of allergens like eggs and peanuts is also making our immune responses imbalanced and is preventing us from mounting normal immune responses accordingly. Beyond that, if the nervous system isn't functioning optimally, meaning your autonomic nervous system, the system that balances your fight or flight response with your rest and digest response. If you're stressed out all the time, your rest and digest response doesn't work at all, which means your ability to be able to adapt to the effects of stress is compromised. And when that happens, your ability to fight off infection goes away. This also means that your ability to fight off some allergens, which are not normally designed to make your immune system freak out, that will also be compromised as well. Because babies and children are being born in a more stressful world, or being more exposed to more stressful things, whether that's chemically stressful from the food and from the other things that they're putting into their bodies, whether it's emotionally stressful from all the crazy stress and environmental, emotional stuff that your parents are putting onto them, or teachers are putting onto them, or they're structurally stressful from trauma, like we talked about before. It's still inhibiting the nervous system's ability to be able to mount a normal immune response, which leads to this sensitivity to things that you should not be sensitive to. Okay? So guys, those of you guys who have allergies, who know that they flare up, especially times like right now, let this sort of sit with you for a little while. Rewatch this video. We're going to talk a little bit about how chiropractic care can help with stuff like this in future videos. It's very similar to the way that it can help with people with asthma. So pay attention. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to call on us at the office, 805-481-1566, and set up a consult for you and your family. Okay? I love you. Bye.